What's up, guys? Doc Caleb here at Athletes Potential, and today I wanted to go over something that I go over with a lot with my clients with muscle injuries or tendon injuries. So this is the rope analogy for muscles and tendons. So I like to explain this because it's a way that resonates with a lot of people and it's easy to comprehend, right? So what I always tell my clients is I want you to think about muscles and tendons a lot like rope, okay? Normal rope, nothing crazy about it, okay? So here is our rope, say. And the rope is made up of a lot of these little fibers that work together to produce load through that tissue, right? Now, what happens when you have a muscular or a tendinous injury is I want you to think about this like this rope has a little cut in it, okay? So let's say that this is our cut, right? So we've got a rope now that cannot pull as much as it used to. So let's say that before this cut or injury, our rope could pull 100 pounds, right? Now let's say that after this cut is introduced, now it can only pull 80 pounds, okay? Now, what happens when we have this injury and we exceed 80 pounds? Your body is really good at telling you if you've broken or if you've gone over that 80-pound threshold by a couple ways. The first way is that it gives you a stabby pain. Really quick, you probably experience this like if you do something really quick, like you have a shoulder injury, and you move very fast to like catch something, say, and it bites you. It's really sharp, poignant pain, like right in a spot where you can point to it. We don't want to ever have that. Our goal is to eliminate that as much as possible. So in regard to this rope analogy, I have two pain rules that I give all of my clients with something like this. So the first rule refers to avoiding this, okay? So my two pain rules are up here. The first one being no sharp pain, okay? In no scenario are we trying to replicate any sort of sharp, stabby pain. So that's my first rule. Now the second rule refers to like if we're pulling through this rope, but at a relatively high intensity for a lot of times or a lot of volume. So in this example, I like to use, say I'm trying to pull 75 pounds, right? So it's really close to that total threshold that the tissue can handle. But now say I'm trying to pull that 75 pounds for more than one time. Say I'm trying to do it for a set of 10 or 15. What you'll get with this is a gradual spike, or not gradual, rather, a sharp increase in pain before, say, your set is even over. So what that would look like is, say I'm trying to pull this 75 pounds. The first couple reps would be okay because it's under its tolerance, but as you pull more and more and more, your body tells you that this isn't okay by increasing that pain rapidly. So let's say that your pain level was a 0 out of 10 to start. You start into this set, and what you'll notice is by the end of that set, maybe it's crept up all the way to like a 5 or a 6 out of 10. We also want to avoid that at all costs too, because that's not helping the tissue heal either. So my second rule is right here, and this refers to that, and it's no significant increase in baseline pain. So this one's equally as important because this is the one where people will typically overdo the tissue with their workout. Even though it may not hurt in the beginning, after the workout or even during the set, it gets really, really irritated, and that's not helping anything either. And what I want to explain to you about these two rules is like, if you don't follow these two rules, you can end up with something like this for a long time. Because what ends up happening, your body's under a constant state of repair at all times. It's always trying to heal itself and improve itself. But what happens when you break these two rules is that this cut, I want you to think about this as getting a little bit bigger. So this cut is now out to here, so we've got a little bit more tissue damage. Now your body will heal and it'll get better, but what it does is it only gets better to that original injury, and that's how we end up with this for a long time. Now if you picture this like a sliding scale, if we follow these two pain rules that I've listed here, what ends up happening is this cut or injury gradually goes the other way and gets smaller and smaller until it's completely gone and we have a normal healthy tissue there. The other thing that I want you to think about too, going back to the rope analogy, is force equals mass times acceleration. So if I'm trying to pull a constant mass, say our 75 pounds, and I increase the acceleration at which I pull it, meaning I'm pulling very fast through it. Think about like jerking on the rope, right? That not infinitely, but it increases the amount of force that goes through this tissue significantly. So you'll probably notice that if you try to pull anything at speed, really, really irritating. So we also want to make sure that we're not pulling too fast through that rope. And I've also got 5 ways to modify exercises should you find yourself in this scenario. I've made a video about that too. So give this like ideology a thought and consideration when you're working out and when you're training, and see if this doesn't help you.